another when you go to your next phase in life. And so he's now married, 3 kids, lives in South Carolina. And the whole premise of setting up the client process was a little over a year ago, and it was kind of twofold in terms of hot buttons. His brother was unfortunately committed suicide, and a life insurance policy paid out to him. So he came into that money, and he also had a collection of 401ks from job hopping. So I'll circle back to the job hopping in a second, but yeah, so there was a good amount of client work in which I brought Tyson in on, and we had just a great connection with him and his wife, and placing those assets under management, probably to the tune of 600,000, as well as a permanent life insurance policy that positioned him for after-tax savings, because he's outside of that Roth IRA eligibility window. So yeah, a lot of good business got done, and then it was just kind of general kind of 1 year follow-up. I try to stay in touch with new clients on a little bit more frequent basis. Um, and so he ended up finding and buying a second home this summer. So he needed to tap into one of his accounts to kind of bridge that gap of acquiring that property. And so last week, in following up, we text each other super frequently, just extremely comfortable and kind of the jokes that we share. Um, I was just talking about just what I'm focusing on for 2025. He knew about my dad, and so it was just all kind of intertwined in that conversation, and kind of where my focus was being shifted. He said he had met with a friend of his who has launched businesses in the past, and he's starting to kind of be in tune with where his employer is just not fitting for. I shouldn't say it. I mean, he's got great compensation, but great compensation is a relative term. When we start understanding what compensation looks like on our model compared to the corporate America model, and that's where I think he is as a 38-year-old, all these jobs later. His current employer is actually the third time he's been with them. So that was a telltale sign of just doing the same thing, expecting different results. And so I very casually, honestly, asked him about, just hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's where my focus is. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be interested in a rock star like you. And learn some phrases, get some licenses, and you would love to have that conversation. He said, "Let's talk." So, so that's what teed up yesterday's conversation. And frankly, yesterday's conversation, there wasn't anything, um, you know, too earth-shattering that resulted from it. It was more of the groundwork of serving this guy's family, showing him, full on comprehensive service, doing that for a full year. Um, and he knows Tyson, so that was a very easy kind of reconnection, in terms of having that conversation. But his mind is now shifting to the fact that, so Tyson, he texted me afterwards. He's like, well, after that conversation, I'm kind of pissed at myself for scraping peanuts with my current employer. Um, because well, I should say what Tyson told him is, we're flipping corporate America's approach on its head.
Yeah.
They obviously float bigger titles, more money your way in exchange for all of your time.
Takes a little bit of
Um,
tact to convince somebody that makes north of $300,000 a year that they're grossly underpaid.
and that was, so if I, highlight anything to this group and for the, the training purposes, it's, the combined credibility of my relationship, my rapport with this guy, with what Tyson has done in business, and the two of us together, I think is what really provided an awakening experience for this guy. And so we're going to get his wife involved in our next conversation. And, his whistle has absolutely, um, uh, been intrigued or whatever that saying is. Um, so it was more about just that dissatisfaction. That was the primary conversation that Alec and I had, in Vegas with Scott Childress is dissatisfaction, is high for this guy. He knows he's bringing in a great amount of business to his company, and he's getting a bonus that does not reflect the amount of work that he's doing. So, so that was another key hot button to highlight to him. So just a great guy. We're going to be obviously, figuring out as a kind of more midstream person, with three young kids and responsibility on his plate. But he's already told us he's got, time in the day to allocate. And so, I think for him, it's going to be more about approaching this from the service mindset and what he can do for others. It's going to take some time to really think earnestly about replacing what he does, because he does do very well, from a compensation standpoint. But I think if we come at it the right way and give him clear expectations, that will be an easy thing to overcome.
I think it's really well said, Ryan. And congrats on teeing that up for sure. And I think I can pretty confidently say there's no chance you would have had on your own to recruit him. And I can likewise say there's no chance I would have had on my own to recruit him. And that's the beauty. We talk about with new teammates how we bridge these two things of trust and credibility, right? And that's really true when we're contacting people on the front end because our brand new associate has zero credibility, but in theory a lot of trust, or we're not in a warm market, obviously. But I think that can continue, and what Ryan and I demonstrated yesterday was just that same dynamic on a much higher level. Ryan's demonstrated all the things he's done relationship wise and trust wise, and we've done well with this guy. I mean, his accounts are up significantly, so the client's really thrilled, but sometimes you just gotta, you gotta track somebody to a higher level thing. I mean, I'm constant. You guys, when I recruit people, maybe this is a better way of approaching this. When I try to recruit people, I don't recruit them to me. I recruit them to something bigger than me. So it's the mentors I'm connected to, it's the platform I'm a part of, it's the bonus structure. And I spent a lot of time with this guy yesterday talking about our profit sharing bonus structure compared to how corporate America pays bonuses. And that really lit his light bulb. And that's what I love about our process, right? Is this team recruiting approach. And yeah, couldn't be more excited about it, Ryan.
So Ryan, I'm curious, do you think if this would have come to your lap 6 months ago, do you feel like you'd be in the same space of trying to take a crack at them, or do you feel like maybe some things have changed in your business and mindset that when you heard, him say the things he said, that it maybe sparked more of the I need to try and get this guy in front of Tyson?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. I think it was combination of kind of what I'm looking for and what he told me. I mean, he flat out said if I don't get compensated for this, upcoming project I'm bringing into the company, and I don't see a favorable bonus in March, then I'm looking. So, that gave me an in to obviously say something and kind of see where his head is at. So a little bit of both in terms of timing.
Do you feel like, or let me, I guess, did you, from like a X's and O's, was this something you had just immediately said, hey, like you need to meet my business partner Tyson, or did you try to do something beforehand, or did you just say, hey, I want to line you up and have a conversation with my business partner?
Yeah, no, it was more of kind of a backdoor approach, because he told me about an entrepreneurial friend that he had dinner with and just what he had done, and like anyone in America is going to give you the constraint of time. And that's, I think, what's true of catching anybody, in a position like him where he's got kids and, a 60-hour a week job. Um, and so that's where I started kind of intertwining, the aspects of what we've done to champion that part-time opportunity for people, and not having to make some drastic switch in what they're doing in their career. So I kind of let him tell me what he was looking to do. And I mean, he started again, this is kind of just the way we joke. I'm like, you got to find something that you're passionate about, that you can, solve a big problem, and something you can scale. And, his response to that is, well, I love mowing lawns. So, I just, you got to kind of play with, the situation and have fun with it. And so that kind of, I gave him those three criteria by design, right? I said, like, these are three key things that any business owner should be looking for.
Ryan, can you say
So
those three things one more time? I think that's like note-taking material right there.
something you're passionate about, something that gets you excited, something that solves a big problem, and something you can scale.
Hmm.
Well, that was four things, but
Well,
yeah,
passion and excitement, yeah, I guess are one.
I love that. I mean, I think what a
Yeah.
great those are three great
What was the
concepts
third
to
one,
etch in
Ryan?
your memory.
Something you can scale.
Passionate, excited.
Passion solves a big problem.
There you go.
You can scale it.
I mean, that's really good because how many conversations can you have around those three things? Like you could weave one of those into conversation. I mean, there's a lot you could do with those three things.
Really like that. Yeah, I feel like that's something we can intertwine when we're having conversations with somebody. And I think, when we are just giving a general presentation about the E2E movement and, saying, hey, you can really do whatever you want, but, these are the three things that I think entrepreneurs find, if you can answer yes to these questions, you're going to find success. And we believe that, what our mission in Crusade is, it answers all three of those and then some. Um,
And
so we're,
yeah, real quick, I would add to that um I don't think a lot of people know what they're passionate about. As you start to ask that question and, interweave that into, some of the scripting and what we're trying to accomplish here, like, be cognizant of the fact that people, they typically don't know what they want, in terms of longer term goals or what they want out of their career. And so I think telling them almost what a business like this does, to excite you, is going to rub off on them. And I think that's what interested my prospect here, is obviously that relationship was there. He knows me as a a husband, a father, and just, his advisor, but there's excitement coming from me and being expressed. So people feed off of that because they don't know really, because he was, I think, so caught up in what he's doing, he really had no time to explore it otherwise. So I just wanted to insert that as you talk to people. Like, I don't think most people know what they're passionate about because they haven't put earnest thought into it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, was there anything else, Tyson, that you would want to ask Ryan or have him cover?
I think that was brilliant. Love it.
Okay, perfect. Covering my couple guys here, so they're not going to be available on Tuesdays for the time being. They're both kind of in blue collar jobs that they're knee deep in work right now throughout the day. But In their two cases, so kind of hitting on what Ryan had said of like why someone would want to join our business and what's motivating them for wanting to do something different. So both of these guys are young husbands. One is a father, one's a soon-to-be father, and have conversations with them recently. Essentially, me getting married, they're going to be part of, we'll all be kind of family members. But through conversations, it's, they're very happy with what they do. And as time has progressed, it's, this isn't what I want to do for forever. It's very taxing on my body. I'm maxed out or soon to be maxed out on what I can make in my current career path. And they're recognizing that, hey, although I'm doing something that I may be good at, I'm not as fulfilled, and I'm definitely not making the money that can provide for my family. And so both of them had recently expressed, a desire to make more money and a desire to be free from an employer over time, and both of them are wanting to be able to allow for their wives to stay at home. So through that, just kind of like what Ryan was saying in conversations, them asking about what I did and how things are going, it became evident that they wanted to, spend some more time together and talk. And had a conversation and lined them up in front of Tyson. And he did similar to what he had done with Ryan and his guy yesterday, of just kind of talking about who we are, what we do, and where we're going, and where we're going and who we're going with. And I think because of those words and leveraging Tyson, it was very easy for them to be very quickly motivated to become part of our process. And so for me personally, it was very valuable to just see what Tyson does when we're having those conversations, since I haven't had those in a while with anybody. But more importantly, it helped me recognize that I don't need to feel like I need to recruit someone on my own and do it all. I can do a lot of the client stuff on my own, and obviously include Tyson as needed, but uh, I shouldn't feel like I have to do it on my own. And more importantly, we talk about overlapping leadership for a reason. And so it was a reminder through these two guys that I'm blessed to have someone like Tyson on my team and be under his tutelage, to be able to say, hey, you need to meet Tyson, like take a look at where he's going. And who I'm, kind of following in his footsteps. And it's really easy, in our case, since we don't have an office, we had to have them come over to Tyson's house. Both of them, told me when they left, they're like, this guy seriously lives in this house. Yeah. They're like, whatever it is we're doing, I'm in. And so they're able to see the lifestyle that he has and, the path that I'm on. And they're saying, hey, I want to help people. I want to make a difference. But if this is the lifestyle that he's able to provide just doing this, he's not doing rental properties. He doesn't have a wife that's working a 6-figure job somewhere else. Like this is it. Like this can develop complete freedom for my family. I'm in. And so we brought both of them on board. And I was telling Tyson before we jumped on the training here, both of them made a couple of calls last night. All three of us were together on a call, working through it, and they're at a phase right now where they're so convinced and convicted about what we do. They made some calls, and when people ask questions like, "What's our company name?" It wasn't exactly top of mind for them, and so someone had asked, "Hey, what's the company name?" They're like, "Ah."
How does
Oh
that
yeah,
matter?
it's called Wealthway. But it was, it was a funny thing. It was his dad who he was talking to, so who cares? But more importantly, I think what was fun is they just know that what we do is good, and from there, they're wanting to let people know about it. So, in my personal opinion, I feel like we've got two guys here that are ready to take action. And what I've experienced for the first time, I'm wrapping up my 8th year in business, and I've brought on many people. In this case, this is like the first time that I've seen two people where they not only are married, but their spouses are really supportive. When we were going through the onboarding process, both were like, if you can make $1 from this, like do whatever it takes, sacrifice the evenings. We don't need to watch TV. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be able to have our family, get out of the debt hole we're in or whatever it is. And so if this is what it takes, I'm willing to make the sacrifice. And then following up as we were gathering a list of names, both of them were like, oh, hey, call so and so, or have you, I was talking to my friend and her husband does this. We need to get them in front of Alec. And I can see a very, I'm not trying to get my hopes up too high, but I can see that these are people that aren't going to get told no once and then all of a sudden quit. So I can see that there's some guys here that are willing to do what it takes and understand it's not going to happen overnight. Um, so um, from here, why I'm sharing all of that is what we got to do is get in front of more folks. And I think in Ryan's case, in my case, and I'm sure all of us, we have people that are dissatisfied. Thanksgiving's coming up, the holidays. We're going to be talking with more people, whether it's clients or, prospective people in our marketplaces or family. We're going to probably hear the tune of I'm not happy with what I do. And in these three cases, these were people that had expressed those ideas and thoughts. So I know for me and Ryan, both of us are looking to progress our business in 2025. And so we're both keeping a very keen ear open for people that are dissatisfied. And we're also a lot more motivated to let people know we're looking for those types of folks. So transitioning over to having Joe talk a little bit from there, there's different ways we can get in front of folks. Obviously, we want to get people, in front of Tyson, but he's one guy and he's got his clients, he's got his own team that he's going to, continue to build. So we can't just rely on Tyson to do everything all of the time. So how can we go about getting in front of people? And maybe we find somebody and we have a 30-minute conversation and they're like, holy crap, no way, or I'm not willing to make a phone call. Well, that's not worth Tyson's time, nor is it worth ours. So in Joe's case, he was telling me he was on the Wealth One website, and we all need to get more familiar with that website anyways. But I wanted to see if, Joe, you could kind of talk to us about what you saw. And I don't know if you're going to share your screen or if Tyson needs to let you, but
Well, I don't know if I can share my screen either because I don't know how this stuff works, but especially
okay.
sharing is not turned on. That's what it tells me.
Try it now.
Now I have two screens and I gotta pick one. All right.
Hey,
You guys
did
seeing
it.
you guys seeing stuff?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you seeing where it says money milestones and money milestones right here?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I was just tooling around on this the other day. I signed up for those webinars that Carlin's doing, and was watching through the first one today, which I'll come to at a later point. But over the last couple of years since WealthWave kind of came to fruition and we started diving into all these things, one constant has been the one-on-one presentation and kind of sifting through about 7 to 8 of those key slides that I'm sure all of us have been in a room where Tyson has gone through that, or we've showed a prospect of our own those same slides. So I was just kind of tooling through and I got to this one here. So this is for those of you that have a WealthWave one page, these are in the presentations. Okay. Go down here and click on open presentation. So it should have a 42-second slide right here, right? I'm not going to play the slide, but it starts off with a little bit of Tom Matthews kind of going through a real summed up version of all the credibility behind what the Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life series, the How Money Works series is. Okay. This is a textable presentation to a prospect. So what I like about it is that it's dumbed down into about, I think it's 14 to 16 slides. Okay. But you go through here and some of it's a lot of the same material, but it looks a little different to all of us, right? It's a lot of the same information, but it just looks a little bit different from the book per se. Some of this stuff is updated, as you can see too. It's not 2020 stuff. It's 2024, 2023 info. So it just talks about the industry that we're all involved in, right? And how much is out there to help people with, and to help grow your own businesses. The backing of who we are and what we have access to, right? As independent agents, again, these numbers show up on, the third or fourth slide of that one-on-one presentation, and they're in the book, but this is just a little bit different view. Okay. Got the milestones. This is kind of something new to look at. Got the rule of 72, those same slides. Okay. Our business. Okay. We educate people, we implement strategies, and we activate business partners. Those are kind of the three different options that we have in terms of the how money works, and the E to E movements. So these next two slides, 11 and 12, and I'll come back to 11 really here. This is huge. I read this and I'm just like, wow. I think this can speak volumes to a lot of people that have, I mean, us included, that talk about how to scale this, right? Doing it by yourself. I mean, sure, you can go out and, this is at an MD level, and they say it right up here, but a modest VUL at 4 a month at an MD level nets you, in that $100,000 a year range. But you do 4 a month with you and a team of people, right? And you see the difference. This kind of goes back to then what Ryan was talking about, which I actively sent these slides and a text message to a guy while you were talking, Ryan, because it's the same scenario of makes decent money, but he's unhappy. He's job searching. So just do more corporate America stuff, and job hop, right? And I know it's not going to be something that, he can quit his full time and hop right over right away, but this is what it looks like from possibly just a referral partner standpoint, right? A couple hours a week. If you get a life license, people can make a little income off of that. That kind of shows them what's possible. And as they work their way into being a part-time person, again, this shows as a training associate up to an MD and eventually a full-time SMD contract, which is what we're all striving to achieve. Okay, so those two slides right there, to me, just spoke a lot of, they carried a lot of weight. They spoke volumes to me. This presentation kind of does the same thing. This is just a little longer version of what I just showed you. Like this is like, I don't know, 20 some slides, 25 some slides, but it's a lot of the same information. So I just wanted to touch base on those things, show you to get in here, look at what's new, look at what, just look through these things, because it might jar something in your mind to go, oh, I can send, I could send this to this person and then follow up with them. Right. And for those of you that have this WealthWave 1 and don't use it, which is probably all of us, you go in here into email marketing. Okay, they're doing a lot of, this is what these webinars are about right now, is a lot of this email marketing. So I have the Pro plan, right? The Early Bird Pro plan. It's like $40 a month for everything that we have on here. You have to upgrade it and add the email marketing to it, which is like $19 a month. But what it does is it allows you to send like, mass emails, tie in people's birthdays for automated messaging, shows you when people open your emails, when they don't, can automatically set up times to circle back and send another email. They're kind of getting rid of sending individual messages, just so you know. But there's a lot to dive in here, guys. That's for a different time. But I just wanted to tell you that if you are using WealthWave 1 and you are interested in ramping up your email campaigns and, tracking who you're sending what to, you do have to upgrade your plan. See, I have the Pro plan here, but you have to go down and add this, this email marketing at $19, just so you know. That's all I wanted to share. Alec, you can take it back over.
Hold on real quick.
Joe.
Yeah. One of those first videos you said was textable.
Yeah, you can go. So if you get into it on your phone, you can just send the presentation.
Okay. Good to know.
Are you just on like wealthwave1.com? Is there an app?
Yeah, I just went to wealthwave1.com and opened up the presentation and hit the send. You can hit the send button.
Okay. Yeah, I've only
And
ever
you
done it
you
on a
you'd
laptop.
probably want to include something along the lines of, hey, the beginning slide is about 40 seconds. Go ahead and play that. And then just click through the slides and or you can go through, pick out a couple that you like and make your own deal. Like I just screenshot those two individual ones that I highlighted and I sent those to a guy today, and maybe it'll strike a chord, maybe it won't. But um, this conversation today is going to, as soon as we get off of here, I'm going to reach out to a guy that I've been very hesitant to take a swing at for a long time. I have no real reason why, other than you know, he was a very successful entrepreneur, businessman, that I've known for 20 plus years.
Hmm.
And he's started some businesses and they failed. And he was highly successful in some other ones. And I just know that right now, I think he's selling sprinkler systems for lawns. And he used to make, I mean, 15, 20 years ago, he made 350 grand. So there's, maybe there's something here for him. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Love it.
I guess like touching on what you just said there, I think I need to get more comfortable of just like putting the verbiage out there with folks and having an open conversation, whatever that looks like. Tyson and others, say we have the keys to a Ferrari here, and I don't think a Ferrari is opening up $100 a month, but a Roth IRA with us. I think there's a lot more to what we have to offer, and the lifestyle that I have now and the person I am today is very much because of this business and the people that I'm surrounding myself with. And I would want that for other people, and it's not my job to decide whether they want to move forward or not, but it's definitely my job to let them know that they can have access to it if they like. So I think that's for all of us. We need to be a lot more mindful of that.
I
And
would I would add to that, like the more I'm hearing everyone talk and thinking through this in my own business, recruiting to me is a lot like referrals, meaning you're not going to get one if you don't ask for one,
yeah.
so putting a question out there and phrasing it in the right way, like we're touching on here, is key, and having the resources to, prove credibility and all that. But just being point blank and transparent with people regarding the question, I think is really important here too, because um, if we dance around the concept of recruiting, then how should we expect someone to take us seriously?
Hmm.
So I just thinking through all that and what we're all talking about, like just be forward, but be polite and cordial, as I know we all will be, but I think there's power in just, being super assertive
Hmm.
in that too.
Yeah. Cool. Um, I don't have anything else to share on my end. Tyson, do you have any closing
Guys,
words or
I think it's
anything?
one of the best trainings we've had, if ever, certainly in a long time. This was incredible. I love everybody's input, and I love that. I think we've really turned the corner on recruiting and mentality, and I'm excited for it.
Wonderful. Well, let's enjoy Thanksgiving, but also let's go and get some more conversations rolling on the business partner side.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Love you all.
All right, take care.
Love you guys.